Hi guys, welcome to the video. So today we'll continue the series of showing you the map making process, and we will we'll continue with the step number 2, which is the basic landscape. So first let's take a look once again at the concept here. Last time we created all the water and mountains and also the underground, and today we'll take a look at the swamp, also those ramps, and probably we will do something with the walls and also try to make some roads here. So again, I'll just put it on my second screen and let's take a look in the editor. So first thing I want to do is go to levels in brushes and choose the swamp lake. And also I will press F6, which will allow me to see which parts of the map are passable and where you can't go with any units. So if it's this purple color, you can't go here. For example, if I increase the level somewhere like this, it will also become after some time purple because it will be just too high for the unit to be able to go here. But right now I will take a swamp lake, and as we can see in the concept, it's just somewhere around here, and we just want to make it impossible to go through this space. Basically, the swamp continues somewhere around here, and then there will be the little road through the swamp to this spot where there will be some enemies that you can fight and get some treasures. So we will need to leave some space in between that. So probably something like this. Of course, you can adjust it later. Right now I'm just doing the basic shape, and from this side maybe we can leave like a small road here that doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, you just want to play with it, and yeah, it might looks like something like this. And here we want to do like solid place of water like we did here with the lake or river. We will just do some small places like this to make it more interesting. Of course, no unit can go here anyways, but it will look a little bit more like a swamp. So now I can probably just disable the tracking of the impassable ground with F6, and let's take a look how it looks like. Right now maybe one thing that we could do is use this water bottom terrain, and we can just paint it on those spots in the water. As you can see, here is just a small square, because if you take a look at the bigger water, you can see that here is just this weird line that doesn't look too good. So we will need to fix it with this water bottom terrain. So here I will just find those little squares and just paint them with this brush, and as you can see, the square just disappeared. So this is the easiest way to get rid of this problem. Yeah, so I will just go through the swamp really quickly, and then we will do the same to all other water places on the map, because we don't want to leave those weird squares anywhere. Yeah, so here I will just go like this and paint it. As you can see, there will be still the line, but it's definitely not like so sharp. Yeah, it's more natural like this. Yeah, and also if you want, you can maybe make something like this in the middle of the river. Yeah, so maybe it looks like there is maybe a little bit deeper water or more shallow. Yeah, so you can always play with this. I just really prefer to remove those sharp edges so it looks more natural. So this will take a while, so maybe Now I can talk a little bit about the walls that I wanted to create in the right bottom corner. Actually, I found out that the walls I wanted to use that would be really big and units could work on them. They actually don't work in this season because we chose the fall season, and it obviously doesn't work here. So I would need to choose either winter or summer for that. So that means that we'll have to use some other options. So I will just use small walls of Empire faction that will maybe not look so magnificent, but I think it will still serve the main purpose of just blocking the way. And in the future we will make some other map probably where I will show you the other type of walls, and we will create it probably in like winter season, so we are able to use it there. And also maybe it will be a good opportunity to show you how to use weather, yeah, how to add snow and those kinds of stuff. Because right here I probably won't do anything too crazy with the weather in this map because I don't think it would really fit here. But of course you'll see later. So I did the whole river here, and now I will just continue with this last part of water on this map. Yeah, it's still pretty simple and easy. I'm using the second smallest brush, I believe, which is the size 2. You can use the size 1, it will be maybe even better looking, but it will take much longer. I just prefer to use this one. Yeah, so I will just add a little bit more texture to the water here, and this should be okay. Right now we want to add this swamp texture that is automatically around the swamp water, and that will be the swamp 5 here. And as you can see, it's the same, so I will just add it to all those spots that are like inside. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look even that bad with this grass that we use as a baseline for this map, but it's probably just better to make some space here, so it's obvious that this is a really special area. And then of course we'll also add some sample trees later on, but that will be probably in the next video, where we'll be making sure that everything looks actually pretty good. Right now I'm mainly focusing on the playability aspect, yeah, and maybe adding some of those basic baseline terrains that will make sure that it's obvious that this is the swamp area. And I mean, this path here I won't probably cover with this. I will maybe add some dirt or something later on, but right now I will just leave it like this because it makes no problems for us. So the next thing that we'll probably do is create the ramp right here. So here in levels you can just click on ramp, and it's probably a good idea to increase the size a little bit. Yeah, maybe like this, and then you will just create the ramp this way. Maybe I don't want it to be so wide, maybe something like this. We can also increase the cliff size here a little bit, so it doesn't back so much. And after that it should look something like this. So I think that's pretty good. We can check with the F6 what's the possibility here, and yeah, seems like you can't really go through here, but I mean we'll probably fix that a little bit later. I mean I can increase the size of the ramp a little bit, but seems like that won't fix the problem. Maybe one thing that I might actually try is to make the cliff just straight. So let's try that first. We'll just make something like this, and then the ramp might work actually fine for us. So let's try that. Something like this. Yeah, and now it's there are no problems. So just make it even before you start making the ramps here. Also, I mentioned in the last video that I would maybe like to make a ramp here as well, because that might look quite interesting. So I will probably just connect here. Maybe it doesn't have to be so wide. So maybe decrease the size a little bit and connect it like this. And now we can create the ramp here. Something like this should be okay. Yeah, I will make it the same size on both sides. And yeah, this will be the mountain pass. We can maybe adjust the heights a little bit later, but right now this should be pretty okay. And maybe the same thing we might do here, but actually we might actually even adjust this a little bit and add some ramps here, so the enemies can also be on top here. Maybe have some ranged units here and then some more units here, so it will be even more interesting. I mean, in the concept I just drew some mountains here, but of course this is just an rash concept. It's not too detailed, so we can definitely adjust some things, and this seems like an interesting idea. So maybe we can create those ramps here. So probably, I mean, this is again, it's not too straight, so I will maybe do that first. So just at least create it like this, and here we will go from the back. So you always have to be careful where you put it, but I mean right now it doesn't have to be too straight. I just want it to be a little bit smaller, maybe something like this. And also we can adjust the cliff size and shape, because of course if this is going to be too wide, then the archers won't have a range to actually shoot the units down here. So we want to adjust that as well. So this seems pretty okay. Also maybe I can increase the size of the mountain right here, and yeah, a little bit here as well. So this seems pretty good, and right now the next step I will probably do is going to be the walls. So we will go to entities, to empire, and here we will find the wall, and you probably want to make it neutral passive, because I mean it will be just annoying to having to destroy that. So if we take a look at the concept, I would say it starts probably somewhere around here, and yeah, this might be the correct size, I would say. Now we will continue this way, and of course we want to leave some space here as a gate, and then we will just close it like this. So yeah, that was pretty simple. As I said, this is the small wall. The enemy won't be able to go on top of it, but I mean that shouldn't be a problem. I mean it's not too straight as you can see, so maybe we can adjust it a little bit. Seems like it should be more like this maybe. Yeah, I think that seems a little bit better. So yeah, this was pretty simple step, and right now let's play a little bit with the terrains. So we'll go back to brushes, terrains, and here we will see what can we find. First I would like to create some maybe like stone something texture here, stepstone, so it looks like a castle or something, or at least a town. So we have 4 options here. I mean this would be nice, but the pattern wouldn't look too good here. It would have to be like a much bigger city, I would say, to look at least decent. This is like the more natural vibe. Uh, this is also similar, and then we have this, which is the cleanest one, I would say. So maybe we'll make this the baseline, and maybe we can add some others later on. So first let's cover the whole area with this. As you can see, I'm just doing it with the big brush. As I said, it's just a rough sketch, not too detailed yet. Yeah, maybe a better idea would be to change the brush type to square here, so we can get to the corners. Maybe disable the passability with the F6 keybind, and yeah, just cover this whole area with this brush. Right now we can try to add some of those other types. Yeah, probably the stepstone number 2, and try to add some texture, but I'm not sure yet how well that's gonna work. But yeah, this seems pretty okay, I would say. Yeah, it's just I mean, it's a town in the middle of nature. Yeah, there is a swamp and everything, so definitely there will be some grass between the stones. So this seems pretty okay, and maybe we can also try the number 4 here. That's a little bit more aggressive, but if we use it just briefly here, I think it might look as well pretty decently. So like this, we just created a pretty basic texture here. So that will be probably everything. Maybe I will use the last one, the number 3, below some buildings. Yeah, maybe like there will be a castle, so it might stand on this because that seems a little bit more fancy. But right now I'm not gonna use it. Also, we'll probably have to add some more texture here, so it's more smooth transition between those two materials. Also, we want to draw the road, so we might actually just use the stepstone number 1 here for that. I think that will be ideal. So we'll just start from the bridge and then follow the concept I made. Of course, the road there is much wider, so we might increase the size there. But right now I will just really roughly sketch the shape, and yeah, seems like it will go here. Then it will just disappear in the mountains pass. The same thing applies to this spot with the swamp, and seems like it will continue here to this another mountain pass where it will be the same situation. Yeah, as you can see, I'm just going to increase the size by a lot, so it will actually looks like this. Yeah, I will probably have to add more texture later once again, but I mean the main concept will be maintained like this, I think. So this should look pretty decently, and yeah, I want to match the wideness of this gate, so it looks natural, and also make sure there are no too sharp edges. Yeah, it should always look natural, I would say. So right now we will just continue the road here. Yeah, it probably goes here to this second base, and it continues this way. So something like this shape should be okay. This seems a little bit too straight, but again, more texture later on should fix that. And now let's actually take a look how it will looks like if we add some more of those textures. So probably the number 2, as we already did once. Yeah, and I think here it looks even better than in the city, so definitely want to utilize this. Yeah, you can basically just do random lines here, and it will usually look pretty decently, so don't have to worry about that. And oh yeah, I will also use the number 4 once again here, so it maintains the same vibe as the terrain in the city. And after that, I might actually also do some road on the island where we are starting, behind the bridge. Yeah, because as you can see, this is again pretty sharp edge, but maybe we don't have to do like a long road. We can just do something pretty small, maybe like this. I think that looks pretty okay. And I mean, what's next? Here we are probably just going to add some more trees and different types of grass, so don't have to worry about it now. This is also pretty okay, so maybe we can add the snow to this area where I planned it. Of course, since we chose the fall season, there is like no snow anywhere, so the only way to create snow in summer and fall is to choose the ice cave, and then you have to just create it with some imagination, I would say. So usually first I will use the number 1 to create the baseline. As you can see, it doesn't look that bad. Yeah, maybe it looks a little bit more like ice or something instead of snow, but we'll fix that a little bit later. Right now, again, doing the basic shape, yeah, and based on the concept I made, it seems like there will be some space where there won't be any snow, and we'll have some trees here, so I will just leave it like this. Now I like to use the ice cave number 5 to make like the transition to the grass. It's a little bit more textured, so I think it looks a little bit better. And of course, we can maybe add it like here around the cliff. And yeah, you can again add some more random shapes into the snow here to create more texture. Again, the same thing that we did with the roads. And the last one I like to use is the ice cave number 4, and this is much more bright. Yeah, it will be, you'll see it a lot, but after we add some trees and increase and decrease the height, it will actually look pretty okay. So right now it might look a little bit odd, but we'll fix it a little bit later. So this is basically it. Now I will work with some other grasses here. As I said, I don't really work in this season a lot, so I don't know all the types here. But yeah, this is the one that I definitely know from summer. It looks actually pretty different from this grass, but pretty similar to the summer grass. So here we might actually need to use it a little bit more carefully. But let's actually just find some free spot and test all those brushes. Yeah, so this is the number 8 we have here. This is the one I will use in the end to connect everything. This is not useful right now, maybe later on for some different purposes. Then we have this, that seems pretty weird, so probably not gonna use that. Yeah, this is the similar, just with the different type. I actually didn't talk about this yet. There are like 2 types of terrains, and some of them end with 0 and some of them end with 3. So if you have 3 and 3, then they will just blend into each other and it will look good. If you have 0 and 3, then it will just create this line between it, yeah, or sharp edge, and it won't look good. So you always want to connect the same numbers together. Yeah, as you can see, the baseline grass that's here is number 3. But I mean, on the baseline you can always put anything, then just blend it in with something else. But you shouldn't mix more of those different types together, because then it will just get pretty weird. So right now, actually there is not that many options. So we'll probably use this number 10. Maybe the number 3, but not too certain about that. And then definitely the number 8. So I mean, let's probably start with the number 8 because that's the most natural here, and we will probably just start with some areas. I mean, this is not in the concept. You just have to kind of feel it and make lots of maps to get used to it. And of course, right now it's just also pretty rough sketch. It might look a little bit random, but in the end it should look pretty good, because if you just leave the one type of grass everywhere, it will look super flat. So you always want to mix multiple of them, and it's good to choose like one more grass from the baseline one to create those bigger areas. As you can see, also the stepstone is number 0, I believe, so if I go too close with this, it will just force it away, so we don't want to do that. We have to make sure that we are not destroying the work we have already done, and we'll just create all those spots. Also, I will probably add more of this grass later under all the trees, because it's a little bit darker, and darker terrains usually look pretty good under trees, so that's probably also a good idea. Here I will probably add some more dirt, so right now we don't have to worry about that. Maybe here will be grass, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I'm just basically creating everything right now. So the only thing that I have prepared is the sketch that you saw. So it's not that easy, but hopefully it will look decently. And I mean, here we'll create some more mountains probably, so I don't have to add any more terrain there, because it wouldn't look good anyways. You want to leave it the basic color if you are going to increase the height of the cliff. And yeah, I think this is pretty decent. I mean, we can't really see it much on the minimap yet, because as I said, it's really similar, but later when we add even more, it will look good. So now let's add the grass number 10, I think, but as I said, this is pretty aggressive, so actually don't know how we are going to use it. Maybe we'll have to add some more trees here to cover it, but right now it's actually pretty hard to use. Maybe I'm gonna wait with it, because I actually don't know how I would want to use it. This seems actually pretty okay, so let's use the grass 3. As you can see, multiple of those grasses have two versions, both the 0 and 3. So since we were working with the grass number 8, which is only season 3, we will need to use the grass number 3, season 3 again. And we can add it to like the edges of those areas I made, not all around, but just a few spots to create something more interesting, and hopefully it will look good. Of course, the terrain is like not everything. You always have to consider that you'll be adding some levels later on, and also a lot of those entities, mainly trees and bushes, maybe some mushrooms, rocks, logs and everything. So yeah, branches. So that will also change the appearance. Right now it's just pretty rough sketch. Yeah, also since I'm working in a season where I never worked in, there are brushes I never saw. I'm just experimenting right now, and later on, if I don't like something, I can just paint over that and make it disappear. Of course, this is not something that you would do and you couldn't change it later. So don't worry about that. You can just experiment, or you can just use the same brushes that I use. But I mean, in this season, I can't promise you that this will be the right choice, and that we will leave it to the end. So maybe experiment on your own first, or wait for the result. That might also work pretty decently. So yeah, this is like the rough sketch of the terrain. And probably one more thing that we will do in this part, in this video, is to make the mountains actually look like mountains and not just flat space that's increased like this. So for that I will just use another cliff, cliff 2, and I will choose increase level, and we will choose the smallest brush size. And now I will just start here, for example, and we want to just make some, again, random shapes. It's mostly about creating a random stuff when you are making the map, because of course in reality, in nature, everything is pretty random. Yeah, you don't have too many straight lines or anything. Everything is uneven, so if you make things random in the editor, it will usually look pretty good. So yeah, I mean, this is probably like it. So I think it looks pretty decent. Of course, there is a sharp edge around the mountain. I will have to fix that later, but that's the thing that we'll do in the next video. I think it's actually something between the step 2 and 3, because it will be still quite basic landscaping, or I mean brushing. We won't be using any entities yet, but it will be definitely improving the appearance. So you might also consider it as a part of the step 3. But I mean, the main thing in the step 3 will be adding the entities like trees and bushes. So that will be probably not in the next video yet, but in the next after that. So here I will just add some of those more random shapes. I mean, there is nothing, there is not much to talk about here. Also we'll have to take a look at the cave at some point, because we haven't worked on that in this video. I think we didn't work at all at it, so we'll have to add those slides and everything. I don't know if I will fit it in the next video or the one after that, but we'll definitely want to do that soon, definitely before the step 3, where we will actually work on the trees and everything. Here you can see I actually have the ramp here as well, so I need to block it with the mountain, like it's on this side, because this mountain was already one step higher because of this ramp. So everything is connected. We have to really think about it to make it look good. And yeah, I think this will be almost finished. Then we have to be careful here so you don't create this. We also have the 2 more mountains in the top right corner, but as I mentioned, we will probably leave it there like it is right now, so just flat. Then I will add some more texture and trees later on, but I want to leave the flat space there so we can add some neutral units there. Also, it will create some more strategic positions. That's also pretty important to keep in mind. And here I will just be really careful to not destroy the edge of the mountain in the water, and just add some of those small parts. And I think this looks pretty decent. Of course, there are some small mistakes in the textures that are making those little black holes, but I mean, it's super annoying to fix it, so I usually just leave it here. I mean, player will be walking here, he wouldn't even be able to see this if the map is not visible. So I mean, it's no point to waste your time with this. So yeah, I think this will be everything for this video. We covered a little bit more of the textures, and next time we will take a look on the rest. Yeah, I will also finish this mountain that I forgot here, but I mean, it will be the same process as here, so I won't waste any more time in this video. I will just do it off video. So yeah, take care, guys.